So big political development today. There's been a massive blow to the Congress ahead of the UP dangle, where Congress heavyweight and former minister RPN Singh has joined the BJP. This day after he was included as one of the 30 star campaigners in the list released by the Congress. Soon after joining the BJP, RPN Singh launched a scathing attack on the Congress and its leadership. RPN has said the Congress was not the party it used to be in the past. Hailing from the royal family, Singh served as MLA from Padrauna 3 times. He won his first Lok Sabha election from Kushinagar as well in 2009. He served as MOS Home under Dr. Manmohan Singh-led UPA government. The leader's departure is a massive setback for the efforts of UP in charge Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who's leading the campaign in the state. It clearly shows the Gandhis are not being able to handle this implosion from within.
32 सालों तक मैं एक पार्टी में रहा, ईमानदारी से, लगन से मेहनत किया, परंतु जिस पार्टी में इतने साल रहा वो अब वो पार्टी रह नहीं गई जहां मैंने शुरुआत की थी, और ना तो वो सोच रह गई है। अगर देश में राष्ट्र निर्माण करना है और देश में आगे बढ़ाना है तो मैं एक छोटे कार्यकर्ता के हैसियत से हमारे ओजस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी के सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए जो भी प्रयास होगा अवश्य करूंगा। बहुत सालों से, बहुत समय से तमाम लोग मुझसे कहते थे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी में आपको जाना चाहिए। बहुत समय से सोचा, पर अंत में यही कह सकता हूं प्रधान जी, देर आए दुरुस्त आए।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी तहे दिल से उत्तर प्रदेश से कई भूमिका को निभाते हुए कई बार विधायक, लोकसभा की प्रतिनिधित्व, भारत सरकार में मंत्री की भूमिका में जिम्मेवारी निभाना तथा कांग्रेस पार्टी की विभिन्न संगठनात्मक कामों में बड़े जिम्मेवारी के साथ काम करने वाले आदरणीय आरपीएन सिंह जी को मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की परिवार में स्वागत करता हूं। 2004 लोकसभा आया, तब से मैं सिंधिया जी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ था कि सिंधिया जी आप सही नेता गलत जगह पे हो। ऐसे ही में 1-2 बार आरपीएन सिंह जी जब भारत सरकार में शायद नॉर्थ ब्लॉक में बैठते थे, बहुत मेरा मित्रता नहीं था, तब भी मैंने कहा था कि आप जैसे व्यक्ति नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ होनी चाहिए, देश को आगे ले जानी चाहिए। आज इसीलिए मैं बहुत दोनों को धन्यवाद देता हूं। सिंधिया जी पहले आ गए थे और आरपीएन सिंह जी जैसे व्यक्ति भारतीय जनता पार्टी में आना, मोदी जी की नेतृत्व को स्वीकार करना, ये एक शुभ संकेत है।
Well, India Today has also spoken exclusively to RPN Singh. Listen in.
Sir, what made you join the BJP, sir? 32 long years is what you said. You spent in the Congress party. After 32 long years, your political association, your family association with the Congress, and then to the BJP now. Why?
Meaning, as I said in my press conference, in the interaction with the press, it was absolutely clear and imperative the party I joined is not remained the party it is, and it is not with the same thought process that we wish to work. It is not the same party. That is why today...
When you say not the same thought process, so what do you mean?
I don't want to go back into history now. Let's look forward and make this country great.
The Congress, of course, is saying those who switch from one ideology to another that's diametrically opposite are cowards.
Well, they can keep saying anything they want. I will not react. My politics has not been reactive, it's been proactive. My word is not to point fingers at others, but my politics is to make this country, work for this country, work for these people.
Also, a serious allegation being leveled by Jharkhand Congress that you were working in cahoots with the BJP trying to destabilize the Congress JMM government.
Well, anyone who knows Jharkhand will know the otherwise.
Okay, are you going to contest the Padrauna seat?
That is something the party will decide, not me.
Okay, one final question. Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's leadership. What do you want to say about that, sir?
That's in the past now, ma'am. I'm going to look forward of building what I have joined, the BJP, work for the betterment of this country under the leadership and guidance of the Prime Minister.
But the exodus, you might want to say something about it. The exodus.
Yeah, I don't want to, meaning, it is unfortunate that all people who have been in the party for 25-30 years today are leaving the Congress party. Obviously, it is sad.
आरपीएन जी, 35 साल के बाद आपको कांग्रेस छोड़ने पड़ रही है और बीजेपी में आप आ रहे हैं। क्या सच में कांग्रेस इतने बुरे उसमें है, दौर में है कि वो तय नहीं कर पा रही है किस राह जाना है?
देखिए, मैंने अपने प्रेस वार्ता में जैसे साफ तौर से कहा था, जिस पार्टी में मैं था ना वो पार्टी रह गई है ना वो सोच रह गई है। और अगर देश का निर्माण नेताओं का फर्ज होता है कि सेवा की भावना से आने का, अगर कोई पार्टी आम आदमी, गरीब आदमी, और जो सबसे बड़ी बात है, जब एक हमारे ओजस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा था, जब केंद्र से 1 रुपया चलता है तो आम गरीब आदमी का, पडरौना के गरीब आदमी तक भी वो 1 रुपया पहुंचता है, दलाली उस पैसे की नहीं होती। आज जो गरीब, शोषित, पिछड़े, अगड़े आम जन तक जो कार्य हैं केंद्र सरकार के, वो उनके घर तक पहुंचते हैं, कोई बिचौलियों की जरूरत नहीं होती। आज उत्तर प्रदेश से मैं आता हूं, जिस तरह कानून व्यवस्था, डबल इंजन सरकार ने योगी जी के नेतृत्व में कानून व्यवस्था को ठीक करने की बात की है, वो जरूरी है कि आज सारे लोग मिलकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार उत्तर प्रदेश।
आपने जो बातें आप कह रहे हैं, राहुल गांधी को क्यों नहीं समझाई इतना अच्छा, या आप कामयाब नहीं रहे?
देखिए, मैं व्यक्तिगत तौर पे कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता। जो मैंने कहा, मैंने वहां की बैठकों में दोहराया है, उसको आप लोगों ने भी कई बार कवर किया है। इससे ज्यादा मैं कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता।
आप पडरौना से चुनाव लड़ेंगे?
साहब, मैंने पहले कहा, जो भी निर्देश पार्टी मुझे देगी वो मैं करूँ।
कितनी सीटें उत्तर प्रदेश में आप देखते हैं?
पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी और सारा देश कह रहा है कि 300 से ज्यादा सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतेगी।
जी, ये थे आरपीएन सिंह, कैमरामैन सुशील के साथ हिमांशु मिश्रा।
What's really in it for the BJP given RPN Singh moving over to the Saffron Party? This has hit Priyanka's mission to revive the Congress. Remember, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is in charge of the Congress party in the state of UP. Shows Gandhis can't contain the implosion from within. There is disgruntlement and it is not being handled well, and that's where the problem lies. May initiate quake in Jharkhand alliance, given that he's been in charge of the Jharkhand for the Congress party, and that there could be a ripple effect in Jharkhand and not just an impact in UP. That's a possibility. Can demoralize UP Congress cadres, given that RPN Singh has been a 3-time MLA from Padrona and UP. So essentially he's got the cadre with him. And what message does this really send out to his followers, to the cadre, the Congress party workers in the state of UP on the ground? The kind of electoral impact it's going to have, that is something that's not going to be very good. We have a series of reactions coming in on this big political development today. Let's go straight to that.
The kind of fight that the Indian National Congress is putting up all across the country, and particularly in a state like Uttar Pradesh, is a battle against the government's resources, the battle for truth. And to fight a battle as strongly pitched as this one, you have to fight it with courage, you have to fight it with a lot of dedication. I don't think this is meant for the coward, and like Priyanka ji has said, you need to be on your toes.
This young man is grounded, principled, and it is not for any opportunistic situation that he's coming to the Bharatiya Janata Party. There are certain principles he has stood for, and if that principles are being reflected in the Bharatiya Janata Party, that's coincidental. And if he comes and joins the good idea of Sabke Saath, Sabka Vikas, I think that's a very interesting process that is going to set a principle in Indian politics.
Stressing news as far as the Congress is concerned. We also don't forget that, there are impact of, the perception can go not just in Uttar Pradesh, but it can go to the other states where the Congress is in a tough battle as well. So I do believe that while RPN may not have been the kind of active politician that he was during the UPA days, the fact remains that when you have been an elected MP, you have very core, loyal supporters who will vote for you. And let's face it, many of the people who lost from the Congress lost not because they were unpopular, it's because the party was getting a lot of negative flack. So I do believe that this is a shot in the arm for the BJP, even if it's more optics and atmospherics and may not have any significant impact during the election. For the Congress, one could have said that they can ill afford this kind of a lapse happening at this point of time.
प्रभारी हमारे यहाँ लगातार जो हर प्रभारी 3 वर्ष के लिए होते हैं, कोई 4 वर्ष के लिए हो जाता है। तो प्रभारी जी के जाने का फर्क झारखंड पे कोई ऐसा पड़ने वाले की जो बात कही जा रही है उसमें कहीं कोई दम नहीं है। यहाँ सब लोग कांग्रेस पार्टी से लोग जुड़े होते हैं, किसी व्यक्ति विशेष से जुड़े हुए नहीं होते हैं। इसलिए उन्होंने जो निर्णय लिया है, उन्होंने कुछ सोच समझ करके निर्णय लिया होगा और वो व्यक्तिगत उनका निर्णय है। लेकिन हम समझते हैं कि उन्होंने फैसला जो लिया है वो गलत फैसला लिया है और ये माने उनके मिजाज से मिलता हुआ जुलता फैसला नहीं है।
RPN Singh's high-profile exit is the latest in a series of defections from the Congress, and it speaks directly of the party's leadership. RPN Singh, like Jyotiraditya Scindia and Jitin Prasad, was one of Rahul Gandhi's loyalists. In fact, he also campaigned with Priyanka Gandhi during the 2017 UP elections. Him dumping the Congress for the BJP is a major embarrassment for the Gandhis, especially for Rahul Gandhi. Both the Congress MP and his sister Priyanka have been dismissive of desertions from the party, calling those joining the BJP cowards.
और बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो डर नहीं रहे कांग्रेस के बाहर है, वो सब हमारे हैं, उनको अंदर लाओ, और जो हमारे यहाँ डर रहे हैं उनको बाहर निकालो। चलो भैया जाओ, आरएसएस के हो जाओ, भागो, मजे लो, नहीं चाहिए, जरूरत नहीं है तुम्हारी, हमें निडर लोग चाहिए, ये हमारी आइडियोलॉजी है, ये मेरा बेसिक मैसेज है।
जितिन प्रसाद, ललितेश त्रिपाठी और दर्जन भर और नेता कांग्रेस के छोड़ के चले गए। प्रियंका गांधी महासचिव थी, उनको रोक नहीं पाए।
मेरा काम किसी को रोकना नहीं है।
पारंपरिक पार्टी के थे
और मैं आपको ये भी बता देती हूँ कि मैंने एक भी बार किसी को रोकने का प्रयास नहीं किया, क्योंकि जो संघर्ष हम कर रहे हैं, जो आज कांग्रेस पार्टी कर रही है, वो बुज़दिलों का संघर्ष नहीं है, कायरों का संघर्ष नहीं है। वो एक ऐसा संघर्ष में है, अगर आपका दिल है, मन है और आप में साहस है तब करिए, नहीं है तो खुशी से जाइए। तो एक्चुअली आपके लिए कांग्रेस पार्टी में आज जगह नहीं है, क्योंकि जहां आज हम खड़े हैं पूरे मन से लड़ना पड़ेगा। आधा मन है तो कोई बात नहीं, और मैं आपको स्पष्ट करके कह रही हूँ, मैंने रोकने का प्रयास ही नहीं किया।
In the last few months and years, we've seen several leaders of the Congress party leave the Congress and join other parties. To begin with, Jyotiraditya Scindia, he left the Gandhis, he left the Congress, he joined the BJP. Priyanka Chaturvedi has left the Congress party as well. She's joined the Shiv Sena. Himanta Biswa Sarma, sitting Chief Minister of Assam, was associated with the Congress for decades together. He left the Congress and joined the BJP. Also, Urmila Matondkar had briefly been associated with the Congress party. She too has left the Congress. Tom Vadakan, again somebody who's been low profile, but he's been associated with the Congress for many, many years. He too has left the Congress. Khushbu Sundar, again, brief association with the Congress party, but she left the Congress and joined the BJP. Alpesh Thakur too, brief association, but left the Congress. Ashok Tawar, prominent leader of the Congress party from the state of Haryana, left the Congress, joined the TMC. We have Kirit Pradyut Debarman, again low profile, but was associated with the Congress party, and he left, and he's in fact floated his own party. Paul Misaha continues to be with us on that big story. This is a coup of sorts, really, Paul, for the BJP, more so because they're picking and choosing whom they are now bringing from the Congress to the BJP. They've had Aditi Singh, who was extremely close to the Gandhis. Also now RPN Singh, Jitin Prasad, a couple of months ago, essentially. The inner circle of the Gandhis really is what the BJP essentially being able to manage to poach, isn't it?
That's right. This is something the Congress might just dismiss it, saying, it doesn't bother them, this is not worrisome, these are cowards, quote unquote, who are leaving the party. But the fact is that this is some of their creamy layer, which is basically leaving the party. It has a perception impact. You can debate about the fact that how much of an electoral significance does this have. Will Mr. RPN Singh be able to influence the electorate, in the Padrona constituency, leave alone the entire Purvanchal region, which of course, he hails from, especially because the election in Purvanchal is going to be very key to who wins this election eventually when the results are out on the 10th of March. You can keep debating about the electoral significance and the value of Mr. RPN Singh's switch from Congress to the Bharatiya Janata Party. But as far as that long list of leaders that you just mentioned, Sneha, who've left the Congress party in order to jump onto other ships, be it the BJP, the Shiv Sena, the TMC, the fact is there is a problem within the Congress fraternity, and this is something that they need to, get to the bottom of. Were these leaders disgruntled for a very long time? Yes, some of them were, including Mr. RPN Singh, especially when he vocally addressed his difference of opinion against the Congress party and its top leadership in 2019 itself, which was widely reported in the media. It came out in the public domain that he did not believe that you should be attacking Prime Minister Modi, even though you attacked the BJP's policies and programs, and that was completely polar opposite to what Mr. Rahul Gandhi believes. So when all of this was happening, this was public in 2019, all of this time you had, in order to keep your ship together, keep it from sinking, why is it that these leaders continue to leave the party? And that is something that they need to, of course, introspect about, Sneha.
Absolutely. Paul, we just continue to be with us. We'll come back to you for more on that. But this development, of course, hurts the Congress party. Why does it do that? RPN Singh, remember, was close to Rahul Gandhi. We've been talking about it. He was part of Team Rahul. He was seen as part of the Young Brigade under Rahul Gandhi. Three-time MLA from UP. So he's proved his mettle when it comes to electoral politics as well. A former minister in the UPA government, he was MOS home in UPA 2 essentially. RPN succeeded in securing Jharkhand for the party. He was the AICC in charge of Jharkhand for the Congress, and he's done pretty well for the Congress, a role that was acknowledged as well. Now, he was, remember, a three-time Congress MLA. His father, too, was a Congress loyalist brought into politics by Indira Gandhi. RPN Singh was one of the young netas who powered UPA 2. He was a close aide of Rahul Gandhi along with Jyotiraditya Scindia, now with the BJP, Jitin Prasad and Sachin Pilot. Here's a look at RPN Singh's political journey, his political career so far.
Kunwar Ratanjit Pratap Narayan Singh, called the Raja Sahib of Padrona in Uttar Pradesh. The assembly constituency comes under Kushinagar district, from where RPN Singh fought the 2019 Lok Sabha election. He lost. His father, Kunwar CPN Singh, was also an MP from Kushinagar and had been the Minister of State for Defence in the Indira Gandhi cabinet in 1980. It was Indira who had brought CPN Singh into politics. The legacy continued with the next generation, as RPN Singh was seen as one of the loyalists of Rahul Gandhi, a next generation leader. He was part of the Congress's young national team. He's been a Congress MLA from Padrona 3 times, in 1996, 2002 and then again in 2007. In 2009, he was elected MP from Kushinagar and was Minister of State for Home in the UPA government. He has also been Minister of Petroleum, Highways and Surface Transport. Before his resignation, RPN Singh was Congress in charge for Jharkhand, where the party is in power along with the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha.
RPN Singh was credited with government formation in Jharkhand. He holds considerable sway over MLAs in that state. It will be interesting to see where his loyalists go and what happens to the Jharkhand government, where the Congress party is in alliance.
Recently, RPN Singh had joined the long list of Congress leaders who felt sidelined and were disgruntled with the party functioning. Sources tell India Today that in Congress working committee meetings, RPN Singh was of the view that the party, while criticizing the government's policies, should not make any personal attacks on Prime Minister Modi.
और बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो डर नहीं रहे कांग्रेस के बारे में, वो सब हमारे उनको अंदर लाओ, और जो हमारे यहाँ डर रहे हैं उनको बाहर निकालो. चलो भैया जाओ, आरएसएस के हो जाओ, भागो, मजे लो. नहीं चाहिए, जरूरत नहीं है तुम्हारी. हमें निडर लोग चाहिए. ये हमारी आइडियोलॉजी है. ये मेरा बेसिक मैसेज है.
RPN Singh says now his motto is India first, and clearly there's no looking back for him now. With Mosmi Singh in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.